and welcome to 360 Sports on Trust TV. That was a very good one coming in from the Super Falcons right there in Brisbane, Australia. Super duper celebration coming in from those girls. It was actually a fantastic one yesterday afternoon where they did what they know how to do best against the host Australia when they won that game. On that note, I will be welcoming you proper to the show. I am Emmanuel Fashime, and we have a lot of stories making the round in the world of sports to give to you on the show this very beautiful and lovely day. Like you saw in that video, we'll be starting from that story where the Super Falcons actually defeated the host Australia to go top of Group B table in the World Cup. I'm not alone on the show this morning. I have Olawale Peters with me. I'm going to christen him on this show, Sir Olawale Peters. Good one coming in from the Super Falcons. Yeah. Nice one, fantastic one. In fact, I was very, very happy. I had I had my celebration all screaming inside the room as if I should just be in Australia immediately.
Yeah, you can be there if you want to be there. Okay, good morning and thanks for having me. I think that's the result of a successful outing. And like they do normally say, that success, it has many family, friends, and why it is failure, it's an orphan. Nobody wants to be associated with failure. And to start with, I think we should give kudos to the Super Falcons, the players themselves. And they won the match not because they were motivated by the federal government. Yeah. They won the match not because the coach has a tactical plan for the match. They won the game because they are self-motivated, they are committed, they are dedicated, and they are loyal to their country. If you watch the interview clip of Asisat Oshola, proudly Nigerian, she was screaming. So it's like they have this this motivation going on for them that they want to make Nigerian proud. And to be honest with you, for the past two months, they've been battling with fuel subsidy and anger on our faces in Nigeria. Yesterday was the first time, the last 2 months, that smiles, happiness, joy came into our faces in Nigeria as a whole, courtesy of what the Super Falcons, what they did. It's a fantastic match, and some people would disagree with us that why are we celebrating a win over Australia? We have to celebrate a win over the
Australians.
The first match.
Okay, that's Canada.
Canada currently they are 7th on the
FIFA World Rankings.
FIFA World Ranking for female football. Australia, they are currently 10th. Why Nigeria? We are walloping on 40th position. So you can see the difference between us and them. Then if you also look at the motivation, beating a co-host country with over 40,000 fans shouting, screaming. The only shout the girls could make was inside their dressing room, because there's no how they will shout during the match.
It was going to overshadow that of Australians fans.
So I think it's a very good one for us to celebrate. However, we still have a lot to do. A lot to do in the sense that our best performance at the FIFA World Cup for the female has been at the quarterfinal. That was in 1999. Yeah. And if you look at 1999 today,
and now it's a way back.
So we should concentrate. They are self-motivated, and if you are self-motivated as an individual, you go far than when someone is motivating you.
Okay, let me take you on this. You made mention of not that the coach has a tactical prowess. Now, let's look at it this way. Before this tournament, Coach Randy Waldrum and NFF, along with the guests, they were having war of words, throwing tantrums at each other. And the man said something. He made mention of their physical fitness, as in how fit the players are. He had to bring in 2 extra doctors, physical fitness doctor, that actually worked on the fitness of this girl. And these girls, we saw that in the first game, they could run 120 minutes, they will not be tired. We saw the same thing against the Australians yesterday afternoon. Now, don't you think Randy Waldrum has actually instilled a lot into that team?
Okay, what he did, and if you check his trajectory, even before he came to Nigeria, is a man-made coach. A man-made coach in the sense that he knows how to bring a team together. That is the best approach. But when you're talking about tactics, he doesn't have it. I'll say this. The fact that we won yesterday match or we drew against Canada doesn't mean we should think we've arrived, that we have the coach that we are looking out for. No, we don't have the coach we are looking out for. Now look at all the players that we had yesterday. They're all experienced players. Onome, for example, she's playing at assist.
But Onome didn't start. Onome didn't start.
But she came
assist, and the man took a gamble by putting Asisa Toshola on the bench. I know a lot of Nigerians were, in fact, if we had lost that game, I think Randy Wardrum head will be on the plate.
Yeah, I said here on the show on Tuesday that if we lose yesterday's match, he shouldn't bother coming to Nigeria. He should just resign from there and go.
And just go away.
So that's part of what I'm saying. And I said it here on Tuesday that if you have the likes of Ajibade, Asatu Shola, they may not be your point man, but they will be the attention of the opposite team. Why you now bring in surprises about 2 or 3 players? Look at this young lady that was given a red card that plays more like Abiodun. She plays more like Kante.
Yes, of course. Energetic, strong, good.
She was up and running. So you still have players like that you can introduce to distract the opponents, but he didn't do that yesterday. We are very lucky we won. That's why I said that winning that yesterday's match is not because of his tactics. I'll say this 100%. Now let's look at it. The Australian team, they are very pacey.
Yeah,
pacey in the sense that they are very strong, they are very fast, they operate from the wings. And that was what we did also. It was in the second half that we have to slow the tempo of the game, not to play their own game. And we play from the midfield. They are playing from the flank, we are playing from the midfield. When the likes of Onome and Kudi came in, they changed the tempo of the game because we had 11 minutes as extra time. I don't know what happened that made the officials to give that 11 minutes, but that's a story for another day. But within that 11 minutes, if the likes of Onome and Kudi didn't come on board with their own experience, take it or leave it, we can concede more than the 2 goals within 11 minutes. 11 minutes is a long time in a football. So the coach didn't get his tactics right, but the players, they were determined. They went there with the determination, their skills, their experience came to play yesterday.
Okay, after that game, Randy Wardrum granted an interview, and he said nobody gave them the chance, nobody believed in them, but they have to believe in themselves and give them the chance. Don't you think he's right to say that? And secondly, you are going to answer these 2 questions simultaneously. Now, do you think that Randy Wardrum and the whole Super Falcons players deserve an open apology from the NFF?
Okay, the first question, I disagree with Wardrum. We believe in the players, we believe in the Super Falcons, but we don't believe in him. So there are 2 different things.
Okay.
We believe that they can do it. We believe that any experienced coach can take these girls further than where they are currently right now. That's nothing but the truth. Because if you look at almost 80% of our Super Falcons players, they are professionals.
Yeah, they play their trade abroad.
They play their trade abroad. And they are well recognized where they play. You can have the like of Asisat Oshola, Ajibade, and Co. Onomia. Look at our goalkeeper.
PSG #1 goalkeeper.
Sincerely, if I said this, you will not believe me, but I think he's far better than our Super Eagles goalkeeper. I think the Super Eagles goalkeeper, they should learn a lot from her. How she commanded the box 18.
Defense.
That box 18, she commanded it. The communication was when she was going for the ball, you won't see the players rushing with her for the ball. The players will go behind the net. Should in case there's an error, they can cover up. We don't have that. So I think the Super Eagles goalkeeper, they should learn from her.
That means they should take the women's Super Falcons goalkeeper trainer to the Super Eagles team to go and train.
If they can give the Super Falcons goalkeeper the Super Eagles jersey to wear and keep for us, it will be much better than what we have.
But we know that can't happen in football.
Yeah,
but let's look at it this way. Let's dwell on Super Falcons. Now, from set pieces, almost they had about 14 corners at the end of the day. It paid off. At least they got 1 goal from that set piece. And the next team that we're going to play, Ireland, they are very good when it comes to set pieces. How can we actually, what should Randy Wardrum, because no matter how we look at it, he's the coach of the team. What can we actually do to, maybe, because when we're playing Ireland, we shouldn't concede more of those corners or set free kicks, set pieces. So how can we actually avoid this, and what should he do to that defense?
Okay, and what we played yesterday, if you look at the possession, and it was 68 to 32.
Yes, of course.
Yesterday. So that shows that they played house. That shows that we absorb the pressure. So if you are absorbing pressure in football, take it or leave it, you concede more corners. If you are conceding more corners, set pieces, take it or leave it, there will be 1 or 2 errors.
That will be
once
converted.
That error happens, they will convert it to a goal. That was what happened to us. That's the second goal yesterday. Now, what do we need to do? You need to look at the balance of your defense. If the island team, they are very good when it comes to set pieces, you have to look at the height of those that will marshal our defense yesterday.
Okay.
So good. If you look at that, you can be able to balance it. Then number 2, you let them know that if you are clearing away from the box 18, don't clear to the corner, clear to the throwing. That is more safer than clearing to the corner. So those are the things that it really needs to do. Then we don't need to panic before playing against Ireland. What we need is just a draw. Once we get a draw, we are safe. Then we'll talk about the next match.
Okay, once we get a draw, we actually say we need a draw or a win. Quickly, let's have the table right now, how things stands in Group B. We have the table where the Super Falcons is standing. They are at the top of the group, followed by Canada, and then we have Australia, and then the whipping girls in that team is the Republic of Ireland. After 2 games, we have 1 goal difference with 4 points. The same thing with Canada, 1 goal difference with 4 points, and then Australia have no goal but 3 points, and Ireland, the Republic of Ireland, have -2 goals and 0 points. And we also have results coming in. Let's have the result before Lawale Peters will react to those results. Let's have the result. Yeah, like you know, Nigeria defeated Australia 3-2, and then the United States of America and Netherlands ended 1-1, and Portugal, Vietnam, a debutant, lost their second game 2-0. They are out of the tournament. And then Argentina, and the earliers of this morning, Argentina and South Africa 2-2 ended. Sir Lawale Peters, like I said, I will Christian you on this show. Now, South Africa, Argentina 2-2, because that is our consign. They are our African sisters.
Yeah. Well, I think the South Africans, they lost it. They had what it takes to win the match, and they were leading.
Yes, of course.
Before they allowed the equalizer to come in. And I think what it needs to do now is not to allow their last victory at the African Women Nations Cup to get into their head that they are the African champion. I think that affected them a lot. They went into the competition with a lot of confidence that they are coming at #1 in Africa. They won the title, so they can go in there and spring surprises. Their experience also, if you're talking about women football in Africa, after Nigeria is South Africa. They are the only country that's giving us tough time, if not for the Moroccan that defeated us during the semi-final of this African Women Nations Cup. I think so. What they need to do now is to go back, especially their coach. I think maybe she's feeling too much comfortable because of the support, and she got all the support needed, to be honest with you. The South African Football Association, they supported her with everything. Their preparation before this World Cup was fantastic. Unlike Nigerian situation, that you have to be fighting
just 3 weeks.
You have to be fighting for money, fighting for allowances, just 3 weeks. That's why I said that the ladies, they won the match because of their self-determination, not because of any motivation coming from anybody. So I think that's what the South African needs to do. Then apart from that, I think the CAF, they need to review the qualifying pattern that we are using, that you have to qualify from your region, because we have some good football nations that they are not. For example, I believe if the Ghanaian teams, they didn't pair them in the same group with Nigeria, they will have qualified and they will have done better. But if they continue using the WAFU qualification for the World Cup 100 times, probably.
No, what they use is the African Women's Nations Cup. The first 4 gets the automatic qualification. Then the 5th position, that was Cameroon. They went to play the qualifiers. They lost to Haiti, the Haiti that is in the World Cup. Now, like you said, if CAF should review it, that means they should not use the AFCON, as in the AFCON, the women.
How did they get to the Nations Cup? Is it not through the qualifying?
Through the qualifying series. So they should take it off.
They shouldn't use the region qualifier series to get to the Nations Cup
first, and then use Nations Cup.
By that, you've already eliminated
some good teams.
for not getting to the African
Nations
Cup. And from the African Nations Cup, that you pick those that will represent Africa at the World Cup. So they've already eliminated them from the group stages of the African Nations Cup. So that's the point I'm making here, that they should review that. It shouldn't
just like the way the men are playing their own. They should also go and play qualifiers. They should
just sit them. Okay, you are from here. You sit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the top 5. You see them. You bring other people so that it can be more competitive. You can have good teams to represent Africa. So we're talking about Africa this time around. We're not talking about a particular person, because take it or leave it. If you continue with this pattern, we'll continue to have this issue. South Africa, they'll be qualifying almost 100 times. The likes of Zambia, they'll be going there. The
Nigeria,
likes of Morocco, will be going there. Nigeria, this is our 9th time of qualifying for the World Cup, and our best result has been the quarterfinal. I think we need to do better than what
we are. Okay, I believe the guests can actually get it right this time around and get to the semi-final and give us that cup. Okay, let's leave the Super Falcons story and head straight to Tanzania, where the Nigeria Yellow, that is under 19 cricketers, got their first match. They got the first victory in that particular qualifiers. They beat, they had to score about 149 runs in 47.4 overs, and the captain of the team, Riwan Abkarim, that is the team's captain, scored 60 runs, while Solomon Chilmen has scored 66 runs, the highest individual score for Nigeria. Solomon was named man of the match for his superb performance. Now the under 19 cricketers, they lost their first game to Sierra Leone, they lost to Uganda, and then they need to win the next 3 games to even have a chance to qualify to the first division. And that in the first division, that is where they will now play the World Cup qualifier with other teams that will join them. But now we've gotten our first win in the tournament. What does that mean for the cricketers and Nigerian as a whole?
Okay, I think it's something they need to be happy about. It's something that can motivate them, that they can do it. And you have 2 more matches to play to win before you can get to the qualifying stages. What they need to do is to go back to the first 2 matches that they lost. Take a lesson that they can learn from there, and look at the one that they won, and look at the next 2 countries, 2 teams that we are playing. Look at, do SWOT analysis. Look at their areas of weakness, what we can exploit to get in there. Take your leave it, when it comes to cricket, it is not yet our game in this country.
But we're trying.
We are trying, we are improving. So they shouldn't be too hard on themselves. That is a must win. Even if you do not qualify, get the experience, come back home, get prepared, and plan ahead. So that's where I will look at it.
Okay, come back home and get prepared and plan ahead for the next qualifiers. But I believe with the coach right there and the young team, because they are actually young, they are of the age. The captain, Riwan, is just 15 years of age, who's captaining the team. So that's to tell you how young that team is. And at the end of the day, we hope and pray they get the qualification ticket to Division 1, where they will join another countries to play for the ICC under 19 Cricket World Cup qualifiers proper. And let's leave Tanzania, let's leave this story and head straight to Rwanda, where the AfroBasket for women 2023 is actually happening, and Nigeria, the defending champions, will be playing their match today as we speak. A few minutes from now, they will be taking on DR Congo in their first game, and we know what has been surrounding another federation that has its own fair share of issue, and it has lingered for long. The women's league did not happen for 2 good years. And Erica Ogumike actually pulled out of this tournament due to her medical exams in United States of America. But we are the defending champions. A lot of issues going on with MBBF, a lot of issues going with its team. Can we actually defend this title?
Yeah, we can defend the title if the girls are self-determined and self-motivated, and if they are looking at what they can get, not what the government can do for them. That's the only way they can go for it. And they should take their mind away from what the government can do for them, because the government can only think about them if they are successful. That's the truth.
But they are successful.
No, I'm talking about as per this competition is concerned.
Okay.
So they have to see a way of getting to the final or defending their champion. They come back home, that's when they will look at them. Because I'm saying this, to be honest with you, it's very tough. But we're talking about government that they do not have any provision
for sports.
For sports. And we've been saying it times without number. It is high time we privatize sports in this
instead
country.
of leaving it in the hands of the government.
We should leave it. We should take it totally. The government cannot put their hands in everything. The government shouldn't be competing with we citizens in terms of everything. These are the ways they can get in revenue. Privatize sports. Let those people that are interested, that want to take sport as business, come in, invest their money on it, and they get their own percentage, and the government will just do what? They'll just be regulating, sit down, and they get their benefit at the end of the day.
Like chairman.
Yes. So if we don't do that, we'll continue to have this problem. The Athletic Federation, there's problem.
MBBF. This one, MBBF issue has even lingered for too long.
All of them, there's problem. So until we look into that, so I think the girls, they will be the team that every country, every team wants to beat, being a defending champion. But I know they have what it takes. They'll come back with the trophy.
Okay, let's have the day one fixture on the screen because we have how they will be playing for day one fixtures. Like I said, in a few minutes from now, Nigeria will be taking on DR Congo, and the other fixture we have Mali against Uganda. We have Rwanda, the host country, against Cote d'Ivoire, and then Cameroon will take on Mozambique. That is after Nigeria must have played. Every other team we follow because they are the defending champions. Okay, let's leave Rwanda, let's leave that story and head straight to China, where Nigeria and South Africa will actually lead 22 other countries in the World University Games that will be starting today. And we have about 75 students that will be representing the country in 7 sports, cutting across swimming, judo, athletics, and then South Africa with their own will be competing in 12 games with 123 sports, 23 athletes that will be representing them. This is the 31st edition of the World University Games. Now, these athletes, before they left for China, Chengdu, China, they had to cry issue of money. What is happening now? Eventually, between Tuesday and Wednesday, the first batch left on Tuesday, the second batch joined them on Wednesday, and they landed on Thursday. Now, Nigeria, South Africa will be leading other 22 other countries that will be representing Africa in the World University Games, and we know all of them are students.
Okay, you see, there is a lot wrong with our sport in this country. That's the truth. And like I said earlier, until we look at the way of privatization, probably we'll continue to have this issue over and over again. I know the sport ministry, they have their budgets every year. Most of this competition that Nigeria normally goes for outside the country, it's not that they just qualified yesterday. Qualified it for yesterday. In fact, this same competition supposed to have taken place in 2022.
Yes.
Before it was
moved to this year,
2023. So that means there has been adequate notice that you are going for this. The people that qualified, the 75 athletes that will be competing in 7 different sports: track and field,
judo, swimming,
taekwondo, table tennis. So they know the activities they are participating in. What training are we giving to them when they don't even have money to mobilize them from Nigeria to travel? What state of mind do you want them to have? Some of them have never been out of this country before. They are going to China to go to another weather, another environment, different food.
And meet different
people. Some of them have not even seen anybody apart from me and you Nigerians before. And be sincere with you, and we're going to have over 10,000 participants for this same competition. Some of them have never seen a crowd of 5,000, 3,000 before.
What is 5,000 is too much, 1,000.
So now, what comes to their confidence when they are starting this competition? These are the preparation that we fail to do, but when the competition starts properly, we'll be expecting them to perform.
Do magic.
We are talking about students, and most of these students are those that participated in the Nuga Games in Nigeria before they unpick them. So I think a lot is wrong in our sports, sincerely. And I wish the government we have a rethink and go to the developed countries, see how sport is contributing to the economy, how sport is taking away people away from the streets, how it's creating employment, how it's bringing in revenue to the government. Let's take Premiership, for example. The UK government, I know they know currently now, that they cannot wait for Premier League to start. The same thing in Serie A, the same thing in La Liga, Bundesliga, everywhere. But it's only in this country that is government that will be owing everything. Rangers International, Plateau International, Kano Pillars, Eyimba. It is high time they take this thing. They have a lot of issues that they need to solve in terms of economy development in this country, and leave this for people that are interested to come and take it over.
Okay, the government, I think they are actually hearing that from Sir Peters Olawale, that they need to, as in, set up policies that will suit the private sector to come and invest into sport. And quickly, before we go on the show, let's take this transfer story. A good news for our Super Eagles star, Samuel Chukwueze, who has completed his move to AC Milan, and he has been given number 21 jersey. From next season, he will be playing his trade with the Rossoneri in Italy. Big one for Chukwueze in 2 seconds, Mr. Peters.
Okay, I think it's a good move for him, but he needs to improve a lot. A player that played 207 matches at Villarreal and scored only 37 goals, and they bought him for 28 million euros, above Christian Pulisic of Chelsea that moved to AC Milan also. He's a fantastic player, he's a creative player, but his goal sense, he needs to improve in it, because AC Milan is not a small or pushover team. The second most experienced team in history of Champions League. They've won it 7 times. It's only Real Madrid that has more trophy above them. So I think it needs to improve.
Okay, we'll leave it there. A good one coming in from Sir Peters Olawale. Thanks for joining me on the show this morning. All right, that is where we'll leave it on the show 360 Sport. I am Emmanuel Fashemi. Thanks for watching.